Hello, welcome to this tutorial on toolboxes. To go to toolboxes, we go to the View menu, select Toolboxes, and then we go to Define Toolbox. And at this point we need to give the toolbox a name. So we'll just call this Measure. Below the name box is the size box. The default size for a toolbox is 2 columns and 3 rows. However, we can change this to any size that we like. And for the purpose of this example, I'll set it to 4 columns and 1 row. Now, to the left of the box is a list of available tools. Now, these tools represent the vast majority of functions available in Image32. And I'll populate this with 1 or 2 of the more common ones. So the first one in the top left hand corner enables us to open an existing image. So I'll put this one into the toolbox, and we do this by pressing the left mouse button. And as we can see, this now appears in the Measure toolbox. I'll also go and scroll down this list until we find some of the measure functions that we're interested in. And in this case, I'm going to have a look at the line profile function. And we'll just add one more function in for the time being, and I'm on purpose going to make a mistake here, so I'll just accidentally add a colour palette. Now, having added that, we can remove that from the toolbox by placing the cursor over the required item and pressing the right mouse button, and that will remove that from the toolbox. And then we can go back and carry on adding functions, and we'll put a function that closes Image32. Now, as we can now see, I've got 3 functions defined in the toolbox, and if I want to, I can now resize the toolbox by making it 3 columns wide rather than the 4. And we can now press OK, and that's now saved that toolbox for us. We can position the toolbox anywhere on the screen by just dragging it to an appropriate position. Now, you can add as many toolboxes as you like. There's no real limit to it other than the real estate of your screen. Toolboxes can be closed by selecting the appropriate toolbox window and then pressing the little red cross that we see in the top right hand corner, and this will close the window. If we go back to the View menu and select Toolboxes again, we can now load a previously defined toolbox. So we've got the Measure menu, which is the one that we've just created, so I'll reopen that one again, and again we can position this anywhere on the screen. Now, once a toolbox has been defined and you save it or you position it, each time you close and reopen the Image32 program, the toolbox will remain in the same position. If we go back to the View menu again, I'll just load a different toolbox. This time I'll go to Toolboxes, Load Toolboxes, and we'll scroll down the list and I'll select the one called OAS, which is Odd Area Sets. We'll open this toolbox. And again, I'll just position this. Now, what we'll see this time is that most of the icons in this window are actually greyed out. The only ones that are active are the Open Image and Close Program. And this is because there are no images present in the system for us to work with. So if I now open an image and select an image, in this case the file blob, and press the Open button, we now get the question cursor mark, which asks us to select an image buffer, and I'll say let's put this into image buffer A. So we've now opened an image, and now that an image is present in the memory, the tools become available for us to use. So if, for instance, I want to draw a circle over an area on this image, I can now select the window and then draw an area that we're particularly interested in. If I want to, we can give this a name, otherwise it will just be given an automatic name. If I now want to extract the data associated with that area, I can use the little extract pair of pliers to extract the data. Again, we select the image and we now get a window with the statistical results being displayed. The final thing we'll have a look at with toolboxes is the ability to edit toolboxes. So we'll go to the View menu, Toolboxes, Edit Toolbox, And at this point we've got the choice of the two toolbox windows that we have open, and I'll select the measure one. This now brings us back to the point where we were creating the toolbox in the first place. So if I now want to remove one of the icons, I can press the right hand button. If I want to make the toolbox bigger, I can change the number of rows or the number of columns. And then we're free to add additional functions into the toolbox by just pressing the left mouse button, which then places them into the toolbox at the next available position. I'll just put one more in. Press OK, and that now saves that toolbox. Again, we can reposition that appropriately on the screen.